Yeah, well, Wells Fargo closed.
Because someone stabbed someone?
It was operational yesterday, and then today they were just gutting it.
Do you bank with Wells Fargo?
No, no one does. Wells Fargo, the company that gives you 10 extra accounts that you didn't want to make incentives.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram and Bluesky at Namely90s. You can also find this show on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/@namely90s. And finally, if you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/namely90s and get signed up for one of our support levels.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to Namely 90s.
The podcast that takes you back to the time before movies, smartphones, sexual innuendo, and what?
So I have to say this before I forget.
Uh-huh.
So I was at this work function. It was a trivia night. It was like a recruiting event, and it was like veterinary themed trivia.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the questions were like, in what year was the first veterinary school created? And it was like 1761 or something.
How do people know that?
I don't know. And then the next one was, in what year was the American Veterinary Medical Association founded? Which is like our main veterinary like organization, like the American Medical Association. It's our version of that. And we got the answer wrong. And the answer was 1863. And I'm like, yes, they were sitting there. They're like, it's the middle of the Civil War. And they're like, you know what we need? A veterinary medical association right now. And someone made the comment that the vets are probably busy with all the like injured horses from the war.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a fair comment. And I'm like, why during the Civil War did we decide we needed to create this organization?
Yeah.
Weird.
And the implication.
And then someone asked me, wait, when was the Civil War?
You just missed it. You just missed it.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. That's when the Civil War is.
Can I share with you part of our text thread today?
Sure.
Or was it yesterday?
The one where I sent you a picture of the closed down Wells Fargo where someone was recently strangled by my work?
No, but you can do that one if you want.
No, I just did it. That was me doing it.
Okay, fair enough. It was yesterday, and we were trying to figure out a time to record, and you're like, maybe tomorrow. I have trivia, but it's done at like 9, and I was like, haha, that's funny, because I go to trivia and it's done around 9 on Thursdays, and I'm like, you're funny, get out of my brain, and then you're like, haha, actually I do though. What? I did not expect recruiter veterinary trivia.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good idea. It went well. We had good attendance, but yeah, I don't do trivia regularly ever.
Did you?
I guess I just assumed it was like there was bar trivia and we were joining it, but no, in fact, we just ran our own trivia session.
Was it still Teams or was it?
Yeah, it was Teams, and they just had an app that like she made the questions, and then you QR code scan in and team name, and then you just answer on your phone.
What was your team name?
A variety of different illnesses. We started with bird flu.
Uh-huh.
And then when the game got reset and we had to start over, we switched to swine flu. And then when the game got reset and had to start over again, we switched to
H1N1.
I wanted to switch to long COVID, but then they said they made us switch to mad cow disease.
Fair.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. What were we tonight? We were, I know it was something to do with Jenga because the first round was about board games. Hidden Agengas.
Huh.
That got a laugh. All right. It feels like it's been a week. It's been a week.
It has been.
Yeah.
I think it took a week for my computer to update.
Oh yeah. So we were already recording late tonight, listeners out there, but then we had a couple more roadblocks on the way to recording, and it's now an hour.
It's now a full hour
away.
later than we originally started.
Yeah. Andrew's computer updated twice.
Like I had energy too. An hour ago, I had energy.
Meanwhile, I had no energy. I was falling asleep. I was doing today's connections and strands, and I was just like, I'm just going to shut my eyes for 5 minutes. And then, of course, Andrew texts back and he's like, oh, update. Computer's updating. Sorry. I'm like, cool. And then I saw some stuff on Instagram and became enraged. And
yeah, I do to say, though, a mango without a pit would be great.
Right?
I would love that.
Yeah. Why would you be angry about that? And why do you... why is it some big conspiracy? It's not. I mean,
so technically, the people who are against selective breeding in plants for desired characteristics are also by default against interracial relations.
Wouldn't it be the opposite because they're like strictly keeping it to one pure?
Yeah, well, sometimes they mix.
I guess that'd be more eugenics. Sorry.
Yeah. In any case, yeah, a mango without a seed would be commercially brilliant, and also would probably make it taste pretty good.
I think,
like, not taste good, but be easier to take apart.
Yeah, I think that it's not without the seeds; they're just thinner or something. And they've been around for about 2 years. And
yeah, mango is just all seed.
But it's weird because I saw that post, and then like 3 stories later, someone else is like, "Oh my god, mango and with no seed." Is this like a new TikTok trend or something? We're so old.
Yeah, we are.
Like mango with no seed, is that trending or something?
No, but mixing cleaning chemicals is trending.
What?
All these TikTok cleaning hacks, they're just like making chlorine gas by mistake. Like, I'm mixing Fabuloso and toilet bowl cleaner and spreading it on my linens, and you're like, none of that's for that.
It's so true though. Like all this. Oh my god.
People they're putting toilet bowl cleaner on their grout. They're throwing Tide Pods into their cedar like spinny mop bucket thing. To mop their like laminate floors. They're just made of compressed cardboard with like a wood veneer on top. What are you doing?
I just learned this great hack. If you take gasoline and a can of and a frozen can of orange juice pulp, and
then there's always that annoying voice that's like, you should see the before and after, like that woman's voice. The AI woman voice.
New TikTok voice trend is if you use the bathroom cleaner on your kitchen sink, it will make everything be better. Yeah,
pretty much.
I tried. Yeah, these seedless mangoes are from India. Is that what they were saying? Or were they being racist in that post?
Probably.
Yeah.
If it was on Truth Social, then it would be just flaming racism.
The DNC was last week, I guess. Was that last week? Every time seems to be moving.
It was last week.
Like,
yeah, we talked a little bit about this, didn't we? Didn't we talk about how
we were very
was there
last week, but just like I
Stevie
feel
Wonder?
like I haven't seen. Oh, I know why I feel like I haven't had any like political news. The Daily Show's not on this week. So if there's anything going on in the world of politics that you know about, I don't.
Yeah, not much happened. I think Harris and Walls did their CNN interview recently. JD Vance is in hot water again for referencing childless people.
Naturally. My fantasy football league apparently auto drafted for me on Sunday, so that's cool. Didn't even know I was still in it. Yeah, football's right around the corner. It's next week, I guess. Someone said, yeah, just
the Seahawks are going to be hot trash.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm still hopeful the Mariners will come out of this slump.
I doubt it. I feel like with the Seahawks, the problem is going to be like, I'll just be watching the game and they're going to talk about a player and I'm going to be like, who?
That's how I feel.
Yeah, Michael McDonald in there.
Michael McDonald.
In a football game.
Mm-hmm.
That's my best Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers impression.
It wasn't bad. Mariners are 4 games back, and that's your sports corner. Sportsly 90s. I
still can't get over the fact that like some people there were some things like the Mariners are now 1.5 games back, and I went to the comments and people are like, "That's woke math," and then someone else is like, yeah, like Common Core drag queen something or another. I'm like, I hate all of you people.
It's a formula. It's a formula they've been using since stats were a thing in baseball.
I swear someone was like, oh, someone said Bidenomics. So they just said that's Bidenomics.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, there was a thanks Obama and I don't know, there wasn't a thanks Obama, but it's like, why are these the comments?
Yeah, no, I had an aneurysm looking at those as well. Like, and I just explained to someone the week before, like, because they're like, oh yeah, it looks like the Mariners are 5 games back. I'm like, yeah, but we're X amount of wins behind. And, there's a difference between games behind and how many wins we need.
Yeah, true.
Which neither is Bidenomics. One's a simple formula and the other one's just straight subtraction.
True.
Yeah. Speaking of Bidenomics, apparently Warner Brothers is trying to reboot ER or was trying to reboot ER, and now Michael Crichton's estate is suing Warner Brothers TV, saying Noah Wyle medical drama The Pit is an uncredited ER reboot.
Yeah, I periodically look up shows that I like to see if reboot news is coming out, and there never is. And I somehow missed it with this ER thing.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, like, medical dramas have been on the air. Michael Crichton developed this, and like I do think it changed the landscape for medical dramas and like kind of set the bar for them. It's been off the air since
2008, 6. Let me see.
It ran for 15 seasons. It started in 93.
94. Oh.
So that would be like 2008, right?
Its season, it concluded in 2009, but yes, it was the 08 to 09 season.
Yeah, Chrome works now. Yeah, so yes, they were trying to do a reboot. They ended up not doing it and calling it something different. And it still has like a lot of the people from the original, like not the actors, like one actor from the original show and like some executive producers and such. And
they moved the show from Chicago to Pittsburgh, so now it's The Pit.
Yeah, and they're like suing. But the problem is, like, if you read the synopsis, it's like this doctor is navigating the realities of modern medicine in a busy urban trauma center. And it's like, yeah, you've just described every medical show ever. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry, you can't corner the market on that because you came up with the idea in the 1970s.
Yeah, and if you're not like, bringing back those characters, then it's not the same show.
But I will say, I understand the Crichton estate being like, hey, like, allegedly there's been situations recently where like they're taking credit away from him for some of his creations.
Mm-hmm. Like he didn't
like
get much
Westworld.
credit on Westworld, yeah.
Which he created. I mean,
right.
It's based on characters, whatever.
Yeah.
And like the problem is, I think the reason they couldn't come to terms on the reboot is they were like, can this not be shitty? Like as to not like, tarnish the reputation of my late husband.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they were like, well, here's how it's going to be shitty. And they were like, no, thank you. So now I just feel like it's such a high possibility of being awful because like the showrunner they were going to get is the one that did NCIS Los Angeles, who actually did the later seasons of ER. Like NCIS Los Angeles was unwatchable. It was
the one with
horrible.
LL Cool J and
LL Cool J and that like small woman with the big glasses that looks like the lady who creates the Incredibles costumes in The Incredibles.
I've always thought she looked like that character.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
Edna Mode, I believe.
Like, it's the person who got LL Cool J to act and then made the worst show ever as a result of it. Like,
and Chris O'Donnell, the Robin from the live action Batman.
They're gonna run the new ER/Pit/ Runoff. I mean, it's a 15 episode direct to series thing on Max. It'll probably be good, but it's just a bunch of nobodies in the cast.
Yeah. See, when you first told me about this article, I'm like, oh, is the Librarians having another spinoff?
Oh, I will say though, we talked about this is not ER. I have to just really quick talk about this.
Go ahead.
The Linkin Park stunt where they like had that countdown timer. It counted down 100 hours, got to 0, glitched out a bunch, and then started counting up. And then today they announced they're making an announcement on September 5th, which is not 100 hours from when the timer started counting up. So no one really knows what that was about, but everyone's kind of pissed.
Yeah, why are they announcing it on the 5th now?
Did you know, by the way, sorry, we're supposed to be on ER, Chester Bennington recorded like a 5-song EP with Stone Temple Pilots in like 2015.
That sounds familiar. I don't know if I've heard it though.
I listened to it on Spotify. It was odd.
Anyway,
ER.
I feel like you would gel with STP. STP's 90s, so that's fine.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just felt weird. What's your take?
Sorry, I got into this Linkin Park thing. Some sleuths noticed that a glitch at 9 minutes and 5 seconds, suggesting that the news would come out on September 5th instead.
And then they announced that it would.
So it was a troll.
I wonder how many minutes to midnight it's going to be. Get that reference? That song from the Transformers album, I think.
Not the nuclear war minutes.
No, that's the thing too. But there is a song by Linkin Park, I think, called "Minutes to Midnight." That's the doomsday clock, at which we're always like on the precipice of immediate death.
2 minutes to midnight. Sorry, I also saw that there's something with Sum 41 frontman Derek Whibley. They also have an announcement for Sum 41.
Yeah, he announced he was making an announcement, and Linkin Park did this thing, and so people were like, "Oh, he's going to be the new lead singer for Linkin Park," and then he was like, "No, I'm just doing my own project."
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, why would you?
Oh, this is funny. Sorry, we're going into music now.
Yeah,
so I'm going to this conference in Reno in October. I'm leaving October 15th. And I'm on Spotify listening to the Chester Bennington EP with Stone Temple Pilots. And at the top it goes, there's a concert near you won't want to miss. And it's Bad Religion in Seattle, October 15th. So I'm like, Bad Religion. And I'm like, oh, damn it, I'm out of town. And I was just like, well, maybe I can rebook my flight. I want to make this happen. And I go to their website and it's canceled. And I'm like, like so many emotions in such a short period of time. Like, within 30 seconds, I went from like disappointment to like jubilation to disappointment to hopeful energy to goddamn it. They're one of my favorite bands. Never seen them live. They're going to get too old soon, and forget it.
Apparently, Kamala Harris took her younger brother, to a Bad Religion concert is something I just saw before we started recording.
What?
Yeah. Right.
How did you even learn that?
Someone tweeted it, and then someone took a screen cap of it and posted it to Instagram stories.
I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris once took her cousin to a Bad Religion concert.
That's what it was. Yeah.
She is into Satan worship, which is so funny. Like, that is not at all what the band is about.
Right.
It was The Onion.
Oh, that's even funnier.
Like, Bad Religion is actually not. They are atheists, granted, but it's like very, I don't know. It's a great band, honestly.
No, the headline's from Fox.
Oh, all right. Well, like, do people even know who Bad Religion is anymore? Like, yeah, they were super popular in the 80s and like inspired a bunch of punk bands, but
I mean, if they're touring, possibly.
Maybe it came from their interview.
Let's see. Her younger cousin, whose name I'm going to butcher if I try to say it.
The problem is I was on Reddit.
Gotcha.
That was 2 days ago.
Yeah, big news. We missed it somehow. They saw them in Oakland. Wow.
In the early 2000s. Ooh, that was in the Process of Belief tour.
Oh,
Great album.
One of the ones I listened to.
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
hey, Danny Masterson isn't by me anymore. Apparently, he was moved to a maximum security prison.
Remember that time we were talking about ER? We just went off on like 5 different tangents.
Well, so he was in the correctional facility down the road. So, well, guess we don't have a celebrity in town anymore.
An incarcerated celebrity.
Yeah, who was convicted for a reason.
Right. You should consider running for president.
Lock him up. I don't know. I don't have anything intelligible to add to the ER thing other than the pit is just stupider than like Chicago Hope.
It's not going to be any good. There's a new one, I think, with like Zachary Quinto, a new medical show.
Oh, yeah, he's from.
It's called
Star Trek.
Brilliant Minds.
Why?
It's based on real life medical cases, which is a twist that I feel like they haven't done before. Like House was inspired by real cases, but like not fully. And then this says, oh, listen to this. Every time there's like a pitch for something, it sounds awful. It doesn't matter how good the pitch could be. It's really bad.
Lay it on me.
This one is, oh, sorry. Zachary Quinto will lead the cast as Dr. Oliver Wolf, described as a revolutionary, larger-than-life neurologist as he and his team of interns explore the last great frontier, the human mind, while also grappling with their own relationships and mental health.
Interesting.
Just sounds bad.
Sorry, I got distracted. Jurassic World Rebirth first look reveals.
Oh, I saw the same thing.
ScarJo and
on the Variety article.
Joba searching for a massive dinosaurs.
He doesn't look good.
It's a photo of them in grass.
I know, but I think they went with a different. I guess they already did the Chris Pratt thing, so they're kind of going a different way. Is Vincent D'Onofrio going to be on it?
Didn't his character die?
Yeah. And I'm just rewatching Law and Order Criminal Intent, and I'm almost to the Jeff Goldblum episodes, which, nice. Gosh, it's all just coming full circle, isn't it?
Jeff Goldblum says, "Don't get eaten," to ScarJo as he welcomes her to Jurassic World.
Vincent D'Onofrio was in it, but later, and oh gosh, it's just Ah,
And they're
it's
all
all
in Marvel
connected.
movies.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. It's the Jurassic Park MCU.
Boy, that's probably been enough time, huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, anywho, let's go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of the release of the documentary Apollo 13 Survival, we're looking back at the time they did the story in movie form, Apollo 13. Apollo 13 is a 1995 docudrama directed by Richie Cunningham from Happy Days, starring Woody from Toy Story, Ren McCormick from Footloose, the husband from Twister, Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump, and the show creator from The Truman Show. The story starts with Tom Hanks watching the 1969 moon landing and telling his wife that he will return to the moon and walk on it, as he served on an earlier orbital mission of the moon. 3 months later, he's informed that he and his crew will be flying Apollo 13 instead of Apollo 14, so Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, and Gary Sinise train to get ready for the mission. Days before launch, Sinise is exposed to German measles, so he gets grounded and replaced with his backup, Kevin Bacon. On launch day, they get the go for launch, but during the second stage, the engine cuts off prematurely, yet the craft still makes it into Earth parking orbit, and a lunar module and command module dock and then head towards the moon. 3 days into the mission, Bacon turns on the liquid oxygen stirring fans, but an electrical short causes the tank to explode, emptying its contents into space and sending the module tumbling through it. The other tank is then found to be leaking. They shut off 2 fuel cells to try and stop the leak with no success. Then they pack into the Aquarius lunar lander module to use as a lifeboat, since they have to scrap the moon landing due to the oxygen problem. On Earth, Mission Control is trying to figure out how to bring them back, and they pull in Gary Sinise to help with failure not being an option. The crew watch the moon pass beneath them while they live on minimal electrical power and rationed water, and they start to freeze, and Bill Paxton gets a UTI. Kevin Bacon gets paranoid that Mission Control is keeping the fact they're doomed from them. Paxton blames Bacon's inexperience for the accident, while Hanks tries to keep all of them working together and sane. As their carbon dioxide levels reach a dangerous level, they get a plan from Mission Control to use their incompatible filter cartridges from the Odyssey command module to work in the Aquarius. With Aquarius's navigation systems shut down, they have to make vital course corrections manually. Sinise, back on Earth, figures out a way to power up the Odyssey without drawing too much power by drawing the extra power from the Aquarius. As they get back to Earth, they jettison the service module and see how much damage it took, and worry about the heat shields for re-entry. They jettison Aquarius and then try to return to Earth in Odyssey, and during an abnormally long communications blackout during re-entry, get out and all is well and are recovered by the USS Iwo Jima for a hero's welcome. And that's Apollo 13 in a Namely 90s Minute. More or less.
And now back to the show.
All right, in light of the ER news and all the stuff that all the other tangents we went on, let's bring it back to ER in a game for Andrew, designed specifically for Andrew, called ER or that's a different 90s medical drama. So I gathered 10 different descriptions of episodes of ER and other medical dramas or medical drama adjacent shows from the 90s. All of these episodes aired in the 90s. And they're the number one or the top episode from the 90s on Episode Ninja for the shows that aren't ER. The ER's ones I picked from, I don't know, a Vulture article on the best ER episodes. But for example, this was the number one pick, which was season 8, episode 21 of ER on the Beach, which aired on May 8th, 2002. I'm not going to give you dates because you know when ER started. But here's the synopsis. Man decides to use his remaining time to help fix daughter from first marriage and takes her to Hawaii to show her where he grew up. He teaches her how to surf and how to drive a stick shift. Man catches her chasing one of his Vicodin with a shot of vodka and confronts her about wasting her life. One day after surfing, he has a seizure, and second wife arrives with younger daughter in tow. She wants to take him home, but he refuses. Early in the morning, he dies. After the funeral, daughter one from first marriage tells second wife she'd like to visit younger sister, and wife two agrees.
Yeah, I could. I know that one well.
Okay.
The sad episode.
Yeah, that's Dr. Green.
Dr. Green dies. Yep.
Yeah. Didn't realize he got married to Alex Kingston's character.
Elizabeth Colday.
Yeah. Like, I don't even remember her being in the show. And
yeah, several seasons.
Yeah. No, and earlier on than I thought too.
Yeah.
So yeah, are you ready for this? There's 10 questions. It's going to be a little hard to follow, but I've clearly redacted all names, so you couldn't get them off of that. Yeah, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. First synopsis. Man 1 discovers that his late father wasn't his biological parent when he meets the eccentric sculptor who is. Man 2 learns something about his estranged son when an emergency arises. Woman treats an 11-year-old genius who hungers for contact with his overwhelmed father.
This is not ER. This one, I don't think so.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You are correct. Would you like to make a guess?
These are all from one episode, right?
Yes. This is a single episode synopsis. Point. Yes, this is a single episode synopsis.
Sounds decidedly like Grey's Anatomy.
It's not Grey's Anatomy. This is
Chicago Hope.
It is Chicago Hope. Yeah, you forgot the part.
Those are the only two I really know. So.
You forgot the part where they're 90s shows.
Oh, they're all 90s.
They're all 90s. These are
okay,
all
thank you.
airing around the same time. I did, but it doesn't hurt to reiterate it. Yeah, you got a point. Good job. Next one up. Man is hailed as a miracle worker after he seemingly heals a blind man. Woman operates on Woman 2 again. Man 2 discovers girlfriend's hidden past. Man 3 discovers his cousin shooting heroin. Man 4 treats an elderly R victim, learning about forgiveness. Woman 3 is apparently seeing Man 5 now. Couple announce their relationship to the staff.
This is an episode of ER.
You are correct, Andrew. This is, the Chicago Hope episode was The Sun Also Rises, season 3, episode 19. Yep, you're correct. ER, this is, yes, ER episode, Do You See What I See? Season 4, episode 10. It must be their Christmas episode. It was December 17th, 1997.
Yeah, John Carter discovers his cousin Chase has been shooting heroin.
Yes.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah. This isn't the one that we watched, right? We watched the George Clooney adopts a...
Yeah, that was...
Kirsten Dunst.
George Clooney adopts Kirsten Dunst, kind of.
Yeah. Or it's more... It's worse optics, but it's the 90s. All right, 2 for 2. Andrew, you're going to ace this.
Yeah, I am. It's true.
Yeah. Next up, we have Man's mom gets a job. Unfortunately for Man, it's at his hospital.
Not ER.
Not ER. You're correct. Do you want to take a guess on what it is for a bonus point?
It's 90s.
Yes.
Is it a comedic hospital thing?
It's pre-ER.
Ooh, St. Elmo's Fire.
Good guess. I think that was the 80s. But this is Doogie Howser MD. Yeah. Oh, you're right. It was
I should have caught that.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Man misdiagnoses a pregnant patient, leading to a long and arduous surgery.
This one's complicated because there is an episode of ER called Love's Labor Lost.
That is an episode of ER.
Where something like this happens, but it's not a surgery that results. I mean, it is, but the surgery itself isn't arduous. This is made by AI, you said?
No, this is the plot descriptions from... I want to say IMDb for the episode.
You know, I could be wrong because this is a common thing, but it was a very pertinent episode, poignant episode in ER. So I'm going to say this is ER.
I did take the top. It's from Vulture's list of the top 27. You're correct, and you have the episode title correct. This is Love Labor's Lost, season 1, episode 19. Well done.
It's freaky.
You once told me that you like marathoned ER instead of studying for finals.
Yeah, true.
So I don't doubt it. This is the first season. First season is very classic. 4 out of 4 so far. How are you feeling?
Feeling good.
All right. Let's move on. Man 1 struggles with the idea of taking a DNA test to determine whether or not his son is actually his son. As the signs continue to pile up, Woman 1 and Man 2 use a fake patient to convince Dr. Man 3 of his Alzheimer's. Man 4 has trouble persuading a woman from a nursing home fire to sign a DNR for her husband, and later is asked to forge charts for a family with no insurance. I think this is Woman 2 continues to meddle in Woman 3's life, having her arrested so that she can be detoxed.
This is an episode of VR, and for bonus points, who is the doctor who might have Alzheimer's? Who plays the doctor? It's Alan Alda.
Wow, that is... I don't have that information here, but that is actually correct. Do you get bonus points if you assign it yourself?
No, I just wanted to do that because I could.
Well done. Yeah, I forgot that he is the Alzheimer's doctor. Because again, I haven't watched the show, but I did know you've mentioned that before. And I listen. All right, 5 for 5. Next up. While hunting, Man 1 accidentally kills Native American Man 2, and Man 3 tries to keep the peace between a Native American group and the town.
This. I don't think this is the R. Doesn't sound familiar.
Are you sure it's from 1993?
I'm sure.
Okay, you are correct. He tries to keep the peace between the town of Chicago and some Native American group. Do you want to guess the show? To be fair, everyone, I didn't give him a bank of
no, I don't know a lot of medical shows from the 90s.
This one. It's in the recesses of your brain. You didn't watch it, but I think you said your mom did. Or maybe I'm just making all of this up.
General Hospital.
No, my mom watched General Hospital as well. This was Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, season 2.
Oh, Doctor, I should have known.
The Incident.
Son of a bitch. She did watch that with Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour Hoffman. 6 out of 6. Still going strong. Ready for this next one?
Yes.
All right. Man 1 calls in sick so he and girlfriend can spend the day together, leaving Man 2 in charge of the ER. Man 3 works on a high school wrestler that starved himself to make weight. Man 4 is dealing with his senile mother and butts heads with Man 2.
This is ER. I'm going to say it's Mark Green calls in sick. No, is it Mark Green?
I think so. When he's dating Jennifer?
Well, that's his wife. Leaving Doug Ross in charge of the ER. John Carter works on a high school wrestler. And Peter Benton deals with the senile mother and butts heads with Robert Romano, I believe is the...
That's impressive. I have no way to... Well, I do have a way to check that, but I'm not going to.
I think it's Romano. I think he's there at that time.
Yes, that's season 1, episode 8, 9.5 hours.
Yep. Okay.
Well done. Yeah, I also deleted a lot from that synopsis. There's something about Svetic's bad temper and
Svetic?
Yeah, Svetic. And then
maybe that's the one. Oh yeah, that's the one. He's butting it. Robert Romano is not on the show yet at that time, but Div Svetic, played by John Terry.
Svetic played by... I don't care because it's not right here. All right. I'm going to believe you. You're right. 7 out of 7. Let's see if we can get these last 3 done. When Dr. Man 1 finds out that one of his patients is dating best friend, he decides to give the guy some free advice on how to court her properly. In the meantime, a woman becomes a volunteer for Big Sisters and gets stuck being a mentor to a greedy brat who takes advantage of her at every turn. ER or another 90s
another 90s medical show.
You're correct. Do you want to guess what it is?
Chicago Hope. It's been a while.
Cheers to that, but you're not correct. This is an episode of Becker.
No, he was a doctor.
He was a doctor and he had a practice. In the previous one, when I left the words ER in the synopsis, did that give it away at all?
No, I mean, it's a common term.
That's what I thought. All right. 2 more. Dr. Man 1 takes in an abandoned young girl found at the scene of a murder, while Man 2 and Man 3 go about tracking down the killer. Is this an ER episode from the 90s? Andre?
No, I don't feel like there was ever a scene where they like went to find a killer.
All right. You're correct. Do you have a guess on what strange show this could be?
I have no idea what medical shows were even on in the 90s. This is bad.
This one was called Diagnosis Murder.
Oh, Diagnosis Murder. Every time you say them, I'm like, oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I most of these shows I've heard of, but have never seen an episode of, other than Becker. All right, final one. Ready?
Yep.
In the middle of a torrential rainstorm, Dr. Man 1 stumbles across a child trapped in a drainage pipe rapidly filling with water. Man 2 does everything possible to save the boy. Woman develops a bond with a young girl with separated parents. This is
the ER episode, Hell or High Water.
Damn, dog. This is the ER episode, Hell
It's not a very good talent. It's actually kind of embarrassing that I know all this, but
I mean, I think it's impressive. Like,
I think Dr. Man 1 and Dr. Man 2 are the same doctor. It's Doug Ross.
Yeah, it's possible. I just saw Dr. Ross, and then they probably used his first name in the other part.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well done.
It's rare that I get just 100% on it. But 100%. I was actually not worried about this at all.
Well, I thought I could trip you up with like the Doogie Howser or the Diagnosis Murder, or maybe you'd get weirded out by 9.5 hours. But no, you know your ER. Very well done. Yeah. Anything else for this?
I mean, it's only like 300 something episodes. I should be able to.
331.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
No, I love ER. I'm sure the reboot will be garbage.
You mean
stop trying to remake things that were good?
Yeah,
never going to be as good.
You can't. Very rarely can you improve upon a classic.
Like, let it be the best, because it was. And yeah, now Grey's Anatomy has surpassed it in terms of how long it's been on the air.
Mm-hmm, but
like,
quality.
Let's talk quality over quantity. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, most of.
Is Shonda Rhimes related to Busta Rhymes? I haven't asked this question yet.
I don't. And that's it for this week's edition of Navy 90s. Remember, you can find us on. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Instagram, Bluesky, and YouTube at Navy90s with 90s, and tell us the answer to Andrew's question. If you'd like us to support the show, please check out Patreon at patreon.com/Navy90s, also with a 90s. And finally, you can contact us through our website, Navy90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Emergency Room, Podcasts, Pocket Casts, CastBox, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get podcasts from. I'm Brandon. That's Andrew, and we will catch you next time.
Shonda Rhimes is not related to Busta Rhymes.
Oh, you answered your own question.